It's April the 27th. It's a Saturday. It's very chilly. There was a bit of sun earlier this morning. It's about coming up to 10 o'clock. And I'm standing in the town gardens, looking around. There's some beautiful flowers just popping out. Nice to see some colour. Very nice. There's a few people in the town gardens walking around. And in particular, I can see a group of people standing in a circle, waving their arms around, moving in very rhythmic fashion, and they're all dressed in black pyjamas. I think I'll go out and find out what they're doing. It's a bit chilly. We're standing in the middle of town gardens, and there's lots of people walking around in black costumes and pyjamas, and you're one of them. Well, I believe it's to do with Tai Chi Day.
Oh, it's World Tai Chi Day.
Oh, it's World Tai Chi Day.
Yeah, I can't believe that everyone in the world is getting up to this particular hour to do some Tai Chi.
Well, yeah, we certainly are. What's the attraction for you about Tai Chi?
Well, I guess it's just the relaxing feeling that it gives you. It's a step back from the stress of normal life.
How long have you been doing Tai Chi?
Oh, maybe 3 or 4 years.
Oh, right. Is it a question of you've got to keep coming and learning it? Is it something you can pick up very quickly, or is it something that takes a while to...
Well, I think the beauty of it is you get the feeling of relaxing just to come into a class of maybe 10 or so without doing too much. And if you want to go deeper, you can learn the moves slowly. There's no pressure to learn the moves, and the moves are quite simple. Although some of the things we do are quite lengthy, I think you can get benefits from doing very little.
They talk about Tai Chi dance, and when I've seen people doing Tai Chi, it is as though it's a rhythmic dance, and people do seem to be in a state of kind of like meditation. It's almost meditation in movement. How do you, is that how you feel it works for you?
I was not attracted to it by the meditation.
Okay.
Although you do get this trance-like state when you move, as if the body knows, the muscles know what to do, and you haven't got to think too much. That probably helps me because I can't think very straight anyway.
What was, like many of us, what was the moment though that actually took you from your normal day life into a class with a load of people dressed in black pyjamas? What was that? What was the motivation for you to actually step across the threshold?
Well, I've always had white pyjamas up until that point,
okay.
So black pyjamas really attracted me.
It's a new move.
They don't show the dirt.
And that was what attracted you. And Karen, you've just been standing around and waving your arms in the air and moving very gracefully over the grass. So what is this all about?
Well, Tai Chi is it's a better way of moving. You know, I find that I have fibromyalgia, which is chronic pain, and so it hurts to move. But you've got to move to reduce the pain, and a lot of the time I find Western style exercises are just backwards and forwards, up and down, repetition, and all you're really doing is counting the pain. You go 1, ow, 2, ow, 3, and you don't want to do the exercises, But with Tai Chi, it's one continuous flowing movement with spirals and circles, and you don't even see the going of the pain. I can come to class in pain and stiff and tired and achy, and you just get totally lost in the forms and the exercises. By the end of the class, I'm relaxed, I'm free of pain, to a certain extent, and just happier, more.
So you'd recommend this for people who
thoroughly,
but also say happier as well.
Yeah, it's relaxing. I find that when you're doing other forms of exercises, you're sort of waiting for the class to end, really, because you think this is hurting and I'm tired and I want to sit down. But you get so involved with what you're doing because you're never moving just one part of your body. It's the whole part integrated together.
Okay. How long have you been doing Tai Chi, Karen?
About 9 years.
About 9 years, okay.
Years,
and you keep coming back. You clearly find this is really beneficial to you.
Definitely, yeah. Well, they're friendly classes. I've made lots of friends.
Do you think there's any limitation about people joining? People might say, I couldn't possibly do that. It's too much for me. Do you think there are any kinds of limitations on people joining the class?
Well, even with people that have trouble standing, you can still do a lot of the the movements and concentrate on the breathing exercises sitting down, you know. And because you don't have to move around and get out of breath or anything like that, then it is a lot easier for a lot of people that have chronic mobility problems. It's the ideal exercise.
Okay,
it really is.
Karen, so thank you so much for telling us about your experience at Tai Chi, and we'll certainly promote that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, Bruce.
And so, Kathy, you've been doing Tai Chi for quite a while, I understand.
Yes, probably about 18 years now, perhaps.
Okay. What is it that keeps you coming back for more?
It's always interesting because you're in the movement. You always have to be focused and concentrated all the time while you're doing Tai Chi. So that means that it's always new and that you can't think about anything else. So you can't worry, you can't think about what you're doing later today. You're really there when you're doing it.
And so it's that kind of experience that you get on a regular basis. And you also train, you're helping to teach other people.
Yes, which is really rewarding. Obviously, Graham is the teacher, but if you see people are struggling or you need to show people something again, I'm kind of there to assist. And it's really nice to be able to help people. What
I see in the group is everybody likes to help each other, and
that's true.
Giving help. Okay.
Yes, really supportive and friendly environment.
What was it that first got you across the threshold to do Tai Chi? I've been asking that of other students, and there are all sorts of different reasons.
Yeah.
Can you go right back to the moment when I think I'll have a go at this?
Yeah, I can barely remember. I think I had a book. I saw a book called The Way of Harmony. And had all these pictures in of exercises and tried to copy it, which was completely impossible. And then we saw some classes advertised, and I thought, well, we'll give it a go, see what we think of it. And then we're sort of hooked from the first class, onwards. Really. Yes.
Who was your first teacher?
A man called Alan Tinian.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a teacher in Swindon who taught something called Wu Ji, which was an older form of Tai Chi, but all the principles are the same.
And the rest is history, 18 years.
Yes,
Tai Chi.
Yeah, amazing.
Thank you, Kathy, for sharing me those thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. So, Graham, you've been leading this group of followers, standing on their legs, waving their arms in the air, all dressed in black pyjamas.
Yes.
So what is this all about?
Well, it's a cult. It's a cult that I'm
You're the leader.
The leader of.
Yeah.
And probably end in suicide later on today.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why do you do this? What is it for?
Well, Tai Chi at its roots is a martial art. So all the slow movements have, believe it or not, martial art application. But these days, the majority of people, including myself, they do it for health and well-being. It's proven scientifically now with what Chinese people, Tai Chi practitioners have known for hundreds of years, that Tai Chi is very good for your health. Harvard Medical School have released a book recently, the Harvard Medical School Book of Tai Chi, I believe it's called, on proven how Tai Chi has been scientifically proven to aid health and well-being. I think this is so important. I think it should be the top of the news and in all the papers. It's an extraordinary practice for mind, body and spirit, really.
I've been talking with a few of the students here, and they've been saying exactly that they find it useful for relaxing, for meditation, for health. And how long have you been teaching Tai Chi here in Swindon?
I've been teaching Tai Chi since 1996. And training for 22 years now, actually. Yeah.
And it's very much part of your life. This is something that, well, I think not just you, but everybody that gets involved with Tai Chi seems to live the practice.
Yeah. It's for Tai Chi is about life. It's about when you're standing in the queue at the bank. It's about when you're driving your car. It's about when you're shopping. It's not just about a class once a week. It's about being in the present moment, living in the now, as it were, living in one's senses. So many of us are caught up with compulsive, addictive thinking, and this creates huge problems in society. And people worry incessantly because they've forgotten the art of being present. They've forgotten the art of being fully immersed in the senses, eyes open, ears open, in the here and now. A question you can ask yourself is it all right now? We hear in the news all the time, we know how terrible the world is, all sorts of
violent and evil things are happening all the time. We know this, and I don't disagree with that. But what is your life like in this moment? If you open your eyes now and your ears, is it all right now? Exactly this moment. But the mind will come in, and the mind is like a puppy which hasn't been trained, and it always bites. And the mind will come in and say, no, it's not all right now. It's not all right because this is happening, that is happening. But we're not talking about over there. We're talking about right now. One's immediate senses. Come back to your senses. Is it all right now? And the answer is yes. It's all right now. Breathe. See that it's all right now. Breathe. Keep listening. Listen to what the birds are telling us. Be present. Listen to what the traffic is telling us. Come back to the now. And this is the starting point of sanity, really.
So people have talked about the health benefits, and obviously there are martial art benefits for those that want to pursue that. What we're talking about now, and a number of people have touched on this, it's about the mind, it's about calming the mind and getting control, I guess, of the mind. I think that's what I'm hearing from what you're saying.
Yeah, it just means you don't have to try to control the mind. This is part of the secret. You just come back to your senses.
Okay.
And you don't, right now, you're not trying to hear, you're not trying to see. Seeing is happening, hearing is happening, feeling is happening. Life is immediately happening. But in the meantime, we are fantasizing about the past, we are fantasizing about the future. It's as if human beings can't stop dreaming.
And even as I did that, I was listening to you, I was saying, well, it's about control, so actually we're doing the same again. We're trying to interfere with the process and being on top of it, and somehow that makes that helps somehow.
We've lost faith. We've lost faith in the way of things, in what the Chinese call the Tao, or Christians might call God, or spiritual people might call. We've lost faith in God. We've lost faith in the way of things, the natural way of things. And because we don't have faith, we have great anxiety. We're terrified of what the future is going to be like. But there isn't a future. There never was a future. All we have is what is presently arising. The future is in your head. It's a dream. It's an imagination. The past is over. It's gone. There's just this living moment. And Tai Chi, really at its zenith, at its heart, is waking up to where you always are now. Ask yourself, is it okay now? Be honest. And if you're honest, everyone listening to this, if they're an honest man or woman, and that's a very rare thing, and honesty is sanity also. If you're an honest man or woman, open your eyes now. Is it all right now? And the answer, in most cases, it's probably okay. It doesn't mean it has to be wonderful or the best thing ever.
That's how it is.
You could be in prison, and you could be hearing this, and is it all right now? It takes an extraordinary degree of, one could say, intelligence, natural intelligence. And that intelligence is what the birds have, what the animals have, what the trees have. It might sound odd. But unfortunately, we human beings, in our evolution, in our self-congratulatory anthems that we tell ourselves, we've kind of missed out on the very simplicity of, as Jesus said, except you become as little children. Little children see what's before them. They see the bags under your eyes. I remember a little girl did a drawing of me some while ago, and this going back a few years, and she included the bags under my eyes.
Well, they see what they see.
They see what they see.
And the movements, therefore, I mean, the philosophy about, I guess, the word noticing is coming to mind, just being aware, noticing what's going on. But the movements then, does that then help the mind? Is there a connection between the movements and the forms, as they're called, and the mind? Yes,
to do Tai Chi well, you have to really observe exactly what you're doing, and because we're so caught up in the thinking process, we can't stop thinking as a species. We're not really aware of ourselves as we could be. We're not aware of how we're using our bodies, so our use isn't that good. And so the practice is simply being really mindful of how you're using your body. Tai Chi is very precise, the movements are very precise, so you have to keep engaging with what you're doing right now. Now that means the movement that you're making right now, not the movement that you're imagining you're going to be making in the future. So Tai Chi is very much about right here now, really.
So being aware in the moment and the noticing and the feedback then is almost immediate, isn't it?
It's immediate.
Yes.
So if you find yourself, if you can't stop thinking, listen. Don't try and control your mind. Just relax. Listen. See. And practice seeing and listening.
So can anybody take up this?
Anybody. I've taught over the years. I've taught thousands of people. I've taught people who are blind, deaf, people who couldn't speak. I've taught people in wheelchairs. I've taught people in care homes who are coming to the end of their lives. I've taught people with cancer, 6 months to live. I've taught school children, 4 to 5 years old, who were brilliant, who learnt it immediately. Again, the genius of youth, the genius of that uncluttered mind, that sponge-like awareness. And all sorts of people can learn Tai Chi, but there are different levels. I mean, some people take it to an athletic form where it becomes a competition, and people compete in the forms or compete in the Tai Chi, what they call push hands. So they're all different levels, and so everyone can take it. I would say can practice it irrespective of the disability. Really, I've taught people who have who are suffering with their minds, perhaps anorexic or suicidal or whatever. Really.
What's the starting point? People listening today might well be intrigued and might be thinking, well, this is interesting. How do they begin? You do classes, I understand.
Yeah, well, they can check out my website, Graham Pritchard. .co.uk or just type in Tai Chi Swindon. They'll probably have a Google search, so they'll probably find me on there.
We're getting the helicopter coming in. They want some as well.
Yeah, that's the police.
That's checking out the cult.
They're just finding. They're just catching up with us, so we better be off in a moment.
Any group of people standing together now is a suspicious group now.
Yes, yeah.
So back to people. If people want to get in touch, look on your website, and then they can come along to a class, a beginner's class.
They can come along to a beginner's class, and they can just have a taster class, see how they find it, and if they want more, they can apply for a course and go from there. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Graham, thank you so much for spending.